it's Helen, and this one is going to be a gentle introduction to yoga. So if you're just getting back into exercise or you just want to try yoga out, then this is a good start, because we'll do about 15 minutes of gentle flowing movement, and then we'll finish with a relaxation, which is going to be autogenic relaxation. So if you have a mat, then grab that, but don't worry if you haven't. Just make sure you're in some comfortable clothing that doesn't restrict you, and have a couple of pillows or cushions close by for the relaxation at the end, and maybe a blanket if you want to. There'll be no music to this one, so feel free to get some of your favourite tunes and have that on in the background. I am not there with you in person, so please make sure you listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right for you, then either skip that exercise out or just see if you can tweak it slightly and see whether it then becomes manageable for you. So do listen to your body. Working into positions that feel different for you is absolutely fine, but make sure you're not moving into pain, particularly if that is your pain or if it is a new sensation. I will talk about steady in-breath and out-breath, so it's really important that you focus on maintaining that breath. If anything's making you breath hold, or it's making you do a facial when you're doing it, then you're pushing yourself too far and you just need to back off, but I will prompt you with reminding you to breathe. But I think that's enough chat from me, so we will get going with some gentle flow yoga. So if you have your mat, then do come onto it. If not, just have a space that is non-slippy, really. And I'm just going to turn slightly to the side so you can see. So to start, grounding through the feet, thinking about pressing the floor away. So you're growing up tall from the mat. Nestle the shoulders down away from the ears, and placing palms forward. If you're happy to close your eyes off, then do so now. Otherwise, just pick a point to gently gaze on, and then bring your awareness to your breath. Try and create steady breaths in through the nose, letting the breath come down to the belly, to the rib cage. And as you breathe out, everything just nestles back down. 2 more here. So we're going to add movement to this breath now. So we're going to inhale and take hands high. Have a look at the hands. Exhale, sweep hands low. 2 more. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, low. 1 more. Inhale, high. And exhale, low. This time we're going to come to half fold. So you're gliding forward, thinking about a straight back, softening the knees as much as you need. Gently gazing forward. Again, breath in and out here. Coming to standing cat-cow. So in this position, think about sliding hands down towards the knees, tucking tailbone under, and kind of really arching through the back and looking between the knees. So this is your cat. And then sticking tailbone out, we'll ripple through the spine, nestle shoulders down, looking forwards. So we've got a nice arc into lower back now for our cow. So we'll just move between the two. If this is too uncomfortable through full range, then you just do smaller range. So breathe it out, tuck it under. So this might be a smaller range. Breath in and lengthen forward. And again, breathe it out, curl it under. Breath in and opening out through the chest. Back to steady breathing, and just press through the legs to create that straight back again. Legs might be fully straight, they might be soft. Nestle the shoulders away from the ears and think about that in-breath and out-breath again. And then we're going to release the hands from the legs. Inhale, press the floor away. And exhale, hands back in to center. Before we move down onto the mat, we'll just think about creating a bit of balance, which really helps you to bring focus to your practice. So we're going to work with tree. So a few variations on this. You're going to stand on the one leg and angle the knee out. So the toe on the other foot can be down on the floor. You want to think about pressing the hips to the front of the room. So this might be your tree. If you have a little bit more balance, then you might be able to bring that foot off and bring it to your shin. Think about hips being level here. So you think about lifting up tall, so that support leg is nice and active. If you're feeling happier with the balance and you've got the range in the hip, you can avoid the knee and come above the knee onto the thigh for your tree up high. So take your choice. It is all tree and it all gives the same benefit. Hands can be on the hips to think about that lift, that draw, or you could bring them to prayer position, so press the hands into one another so you've got some tension in the arms, they're not just sagging out in front of you. So bring your awareness back to your breath, whatever option you've taken with the foot. Find a drishti point, a vision point that helps with that focus. And then for the next 3 breaths, think about that steady in-breath through the nose, directing the breath down to that belly, that rib cage. And as you breathe out, just let everything nestle back down. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. And again. And exhale. So we're going to release out of this posture now. So release your hands and with control, release that leg. Support leg might be giving you a little warning it's been doing something, so feel free to give that a wriggle and we'll pop straight on to the other side. So again, press the floor away so you're already lifting up tall. Up onto tiptoes, turn the knee out to find your range in the turn out in the hip, and then find your balance challenge. So that might be toe down on the floor, it might be shin, avoid the knee, it might be up high. So take your choice. I'm going to show you below knee on this one. You're thinking about that knee pressing wide though and hips pressing forward. So again, bring that awareness to the hips. Are you sticking and sinking into that hip, or can you lift up nice and tall? And then take your hand position, whether that's keeping them on the hips or bringing them to that prayer position, pressing the palms into one another, shoulders nestle down away from the ears. And then find that vision point, that drishti point that helps you create the focus. And then working with the breath, bring that awareness to your breath. Steady inhale through the nose, down to that belly and the rib cage. And out breath. If your mind wanders, just accept that without judgment and bring it back to focusing on the breath for 2 more breaths. Releasing the hands, and with control, release back both legs to the floor. Give that support leg a little wriggle. So we're going to come down onto the mat now, onto all fours. So standing towards one end of your space or your mat. We're going to roll down from here. So imagine you're up against a wall, chin comes to chest, and imagine you're peeling off that wall. You can soften your knees as soon as you need to, if it feels uncomfortable anywhere, or you can keep them straight. From here, walking the hands forward and come into our tabletop position. So here you want hands just forward of shoulders, knees truly hip width. Don't go too narrow with this, otherwise you'll feel unstable. So from here, you're pressing the floor away through your hands. Spread your fingertips nice and wide. And then we're going to repeat that cat-cow that we did in standing position. So this time you're going to tuck tailbone under, press the mat away to really arch up through your spine, looking between your knees. And then in breath, uncurl, stick your bum out, drop through your belly, through your rib cage. Still press the floor away through your hands and arch, come forward. So we'll repeat this a few times. So this might be a small little wiggle, depending on comfort. Moving between one and the other, just keep that steady breath out as you tuck under. Breath in as you uncurl, or just make sure you're not breath holding if there's too much to concentrate on. So a few more little wriggles. The more you do this, you might find then that you want to create little movement into it, so pressing back before you ripple up and round, or just generally having a bit of a wriggle, so pressing one hip back towards the foot, then the other. So just see where, tune into your body and see where it wants to have that wriggle. Feel like a cat that's got that itch. And just see where you can wriggle. Release that head as well. Maintaining steady in-breaths and out-breaths. And then coming back to the middle. We're going to press it back to child's pose. So from here, knees nice and wide, and you press back. Now if this isn't comfortable into thighs, you can come down onto forearms and take a less into range position, and then you could gently nudge back and come out of it if it doesn't feel nice to stay in it. Or this is where the pillows or cushions could come into play. You could pop that behind to limit the amount of bend into the knees, and you could go for more there. So whichever feels okay for you. You might have hands stretched out in front, you might have your head relaxed on them. You could even have another couple of pillows or something here to have a little hug onto. So play around with that and see which things you need to make it a nice position to breathe in. And then whichever option you take, we're going to hold for 5 breaths here. So again, thinking about directing the breath in through your nose, down to the belly. Let that belly relax as you take that breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine everything just collapsing back down through the rib cage and the belly. So we'll go here. So get yourself comfortable and then create that steady in-breath through the nose. And out breath. And again. Breathe it out. And again. Breath in. Breathe it out. 2 more. Breath in. Breathe it out. 1 more. Breath in. And breathe it out. And then coming forward out of that position. So either onto forearms or back up onto hands. Taking away any pillows that you have in place. We're just going to come into a downward facing dog. So this you might choose to modify or see how you get on with it, okay? But this is an inversion basically. So we're going to take hands a little further forward in front of shoulders. You're going to tuck your toes at the back. Press the floor away so you're nice and strong through the hands. You're going to hover the knees and press your bum back. So you're thinking about bum coming nice and high. You can keep knees nice and soft and then come back down and then get off your hands if you find that your wrists are letting you know they're doing something a bit different. And then go again. So you hover knees, press the bum back. You're thinking about a long line through head to tailbone. And then you can see what you can do with the legs, whether you can lengthen away or let one soften, the other lengthen, and then the other side. So this might feel quite strong. So feel free to back off and come out and go back in. Or it might be one you just want to have a dabble with and then leave for next time round. You could also bring a chair into play here or sofa. You'd need to make sure that your chair is blocked against something so it doesn't shift and move. But instead of having hands down on the floor, you could, am I still in shot? Yeah. You could have them onto sofa or chair, tucking toes, and then from here you're still thinking about that long line from head to tailbone as you press back. that could be another option for you. So we'll go for one more of those, and then we're going to move on to our back. So hands just forward of shoulders, knees nice and wide. Press the floor away so you're nice and active around your shoulders. Hover the knees, press the bottom back, and think of that lovely long line. Release the head, and maybe you paddle out one leg, then the other. Keep breathing. And then coming back to the floor. Coming round onto your bottom, and then having a lie down onto your back. So you might want a pillow for your head, and you'll definitely need a couple more pillows for the relaxation bit. So grab those whilst you're down here. So optional pillow under head. We're going to come to lie down on the floor. So from here, we're going to take hands out to the sides, palm facing up, both knees are nice and bent. So we're going to windmill the legs down to one direction, then the other. So you're in control of how far. So you can take knees both one direction and look the opposite way, and try and keep both shoulders nestled down to the floor. Breath in and out here, and back into centre. Swapping over. So knees one way, look the other, shoulder stays grounded, breath in and out. So your knees might stay quite high, or if we go again, so opposite direction, you might be able to take them lower. Breath in and out. And then feeding up and over, look in the opposite direction, and breath in and out. Coming back into centre. We're going to work on opening through the hips a little bit here. So we're going to take one knee up towards your chest, and then you're going to just guide it out as if you're bringing it up towards the armpit. So that might be here, you might have more range. So you're just easing it out to the side a little bit and towards your armpits. So couple of breaths here. Remember, you need to be able to make sure you can still breathe and it's not making you do a facial, you're not willing the time away. If that is true, back off a little, take it out of range a little bit. So find your happy place, and then we'll go 3 breaths in and out here. Directing that breath down to the belly and that rib cage on that breath in. And everything melting back down to the floor on that breath out. Guiding the knee back in and then popping that leg down. We'll go on the other side. So drawing that knee up and then out towards the armpit. So find that happy range for you that you can maintain without breath holding or a strong facial. And then 3 breaths. And then ease the knee back in, and then pop in the knee back down. We're going to come to butterfly pose now. So you're going to think about feet coming together and letting the knees drift to the side. So if this feels quite strong and you can't relax, then you might want these pillows either side of the knee to bolster, so that you can relax into that position rather than having to have your legs hanging there because they don't want to come lower, okay? So play there with how many pause and get your cushions and get set up on this, but we're feeling about a nice openness through the inner thigh. There shouldn't be any discomfort into lower back, and that should be nice and chilled down onto the floor. Turning palms up so we can chill the shoulders. This time you're going to work with 5 breaths. I'm not going to count you, you work with your own breath pattern, but on that inhale, direct the breath down to the belly and the rib cage, and as you breathe out, nestle back down. So when you're ready, 5 breaths. Try and keep that focus on the breath in and on the breath out and how it feels. If your mind wanders, accept that without judging it and just bring it back gently to focusing on the breath. So when you're ready, taking that in breath, followed by the out breath, and 4 more. And then gently bringing your awareness back and letting one knee come up and then the other. So we're just going to change the position of our pillows. We've got some background noise going on in the kitchen that you're going to have to try and zone out.
Sorry.
And then we're going to get comfortable for our relaxation. So grab a blanket if you want, because you're going to lie still for a few minutes now whilst we work on a full body relaxation. So pillows, cushions under both knees, because we're going to want to relax into the hip, and then again option of that head cushion. And then you can cover yourself over with a blanket if you so wish. So lie back down and position those, and take the time to get comfy with this. Again, pause me if you're not quite right, get comfy. So ideally I'd probably like a bit more support under the knees, but my aim is that my knees can go nice and wide, so I'm relaxing through my hips and my inner thigh, and it should feel comfy, so make sure you get that comfort before you begin. So if you're happy to close those eyes off, then do so. And just bring your awareness back to that breath. So steady in breath through the nose and out breath through the nose. Again, if your mind wanders, which I suspect it will, that's what our brains do, then accept that without judgment and bring it back to the task of focusing on the breath in and the breath out. And then we're going to work through the body, tensing parts of the body and releasing. So just follow along. So with your toes, bring your awareness down to your feet, clench your toes and release. And again, tense those toes, screw them up tight and release. And again, tense and release. Bringing your awareness to your knees, thinking about pressing the knees firmly down into those cushions and release. And again, press the knees down firmly. You might find your heels come off the floor, that's fine. And release, and letting the heels drop back down. One more. Really press the knees back and release. Bringing your awareness to your bottom. So we're going to squeeze your glutes muscles. So squeeze your bottom and release. And again. And release. And again. Squeeze and release. And just give your legs a gentle little wriggle to make sure you have really released off again. To your hands, make a tight fist and release. And again. And release. And again. And release. To your shoulders, shrug your shoulders up to your ears and release down and away. And again, shrug them up. And release, down and away. And again, shrug up. And release, down and away. So making sure there's a lovely big gap between shoulder and ears now. So bringing your awareness to your jaw. Tense your jaw, screw your face up, clench those teeth, and then release. And again, can you also feel your abdominals, your belly muscles kicking in when you tense that jaw? And release. And again. And release. And this time making sure the tongue comes away from the roof of your mouth so the jaw's fully relaxed. And this is a good one, even if you did just the tensing the jaw through the day and releasing. Hopefully you felt that when you clench your jaw, you feel your abdominal muscles kick in and tense. So even if during the day you regularly check in with relaxing your jaw, you'll probably find you release a lot of tension through your middle. So if you still feel you have any tension anywhere lingering, take a breath in. And on that out breath, just see if you can melt any further into your mat or your bed, wherever you are now for this relaxation. And again, for another few breaths. Each time seeing if you can become heavier and heavier, taking up that support. Return your breath just to normal breaths in and out. Gently give your hands and your toes a bit of a wriggle. And then if you're ready to move, then you can draw one knee in towards you, sliding the foot along the floor, then your other. Make a little pillow with your hands and roll onto your side. And again, feel free to stay here as long as you need before bringing yourself back to sitting. So you can use your hands down on the floor or your surface and press yourself back up. So there you go, a nice little gentle flow of movements that gets the whole body moving, ending with a relaxation. So give it a go, have a play with it, and let me know how you get on. Thank you.